On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Hospice.
A specialized care facility or service for terminally ill patients intended to provide comfort and support in the final stages of life. Any program, organization, or approach focused on end-of-life care and support.
Examples:
Hospice care, home hospice. The hospice team includes nurses, social workers, chaplains, and volunteers who work together to provide comprehensive care.
Observe.
To watch or notice something carefully, often to gather information or insights, to take note of something or someone, to celebrate or commemorate a special event or occasion.
Examples:
Observe a tradition. Observe wildlife. It is important to observe safety procedures in the workplace to prevent accidents.
Terminal.
A building or place where buses, trains, or airplanes stop and where passengers or goods can be picked up or dropped off. Adjective, of or situated at the ends of a delivery route.
Examples:
Terminal disease. A terminal syllable. The terminal at the airport is where passengers catch their flights.
Lab.
A workplace for the conduct of scientific research, a laboratory.
Examples:
Lab instrument. Medical lab. The Prime Minister will pay a courtesy visit to the Nobel laureate's lab.
Widow.
A woman whose spouse has died and who is not remarried.
Examples:
Widow pension. A war widow. She became a widow after her husband passed away.
Instance.
A particular example or single occurrence of something.
Examples:
For instance. Notable instance. These articles cite 5 instances of climate change.
Patient.
A person who is receiving medical treatment, care, or attention from a healthcare professional, such as a doctor, nurse, or therapist, a personal quality or characteristic.
Examples:
Patient in the hospital. Patient with weight loss. The doctor carefully examined the patient's medical history.
Dementia.
A severe decline in cognitive function, especially memory, as a result of disease or injury.
Examples:
Dementia patients. Probably have dementia. The study found that regular exercise can help to prevent the onset of dementia in older age.
Exhausted.
Extremely tired.
Examples:
The exhausted food sources. Exhausted parents. The exhausted runner fell to the ground and gasped.
Exhaustion.
The state of being extremely tired and lacking energy or strength.
Examples:
Exhaustion of energy. Emotional exhaustion. The long work hours were taking a toll on her mental exhaustion.
Depressed.
Sad and without any hope.
Examples:
Depressed feeling. The market is depressed. After his mother died, he got depressed.
Random.
Made, done, or happening without method, conscious decision, or any regular pattern.
Examples:
A random choice. Bombs fell at random. To find drunk drivers, police conduct random tests.
Influence.
The ability to affect someone's or something's character, growth, or behavior, or the effect itself.
Examples:
Influence a child's future. Influence the daily life. The former emperor had a particular influence even after he abdicated.
Distance.
The amount of space between 2 points, measured in units such as miles, meters, or kilometers, the extent, scope, or range between two things, such as distance or emotional distance.
Examples:
Driving distance. Social distance. The marathon runner covered a long distance in a short amount of time.
Suddenly.
Quickly and unexpectedly.
Examples:
Suddenly attacked by an enemy. Die suddenly. Who answers suddenly knows little.
Restricted.
Limited in extent, number, scope, or action, especially by official rules, laws, etc.
Examples:
Restricted area. Lactose restricted diet. The country has designated our products as restricted import goods.
Individual.
A single person or thing, as distinct from a group.
Examples:
A private individual. Individual freedom. As an individual, he had the right to make his own decisions and live his life as he saw fit.
Foursome.
A group of 4 people or things, particularly used to refer to a group of 4 individuals playing a game or sport together, such as in golf or tennis doubles.
Examples:
Golf foursome. Tennis foursome. The talented foursome performed a stunning acrobatic routine at the circus.
Embedded.
Fixed firmly into the surface of something.
Examples:
Embedded systems. LED embedded glass. The embedded chip in my credit card allows me to make contactless payments.
Relation.
The way 2 persons or groups of people feel and act toward one another.
Examples:
relation between cause and effect, relation of inclusion. The industrial relations laws were passed with little to no alteration.
Spouse:
a person's husband, wife, or partner in marriage.
Examples:
spouse tax deduction, spouse visa. The spouse of the politician was a constant presence at campaign events.
Vast:
enormous in size, number, amount, or quantity.
Examples:
vast majority, vast desert. A vast audience viewed the broadcast.
Broad:
very wide, general.
Examples:
attract broad attention, a broad mind. He accumulated wealth across a broad spectrum of assets.
Obsess:
to fill the mind of someone continually so that one can't think of anything else.
Examples:
obsess over her weight. He is obsessed with the fear. He's utterly obsessed with his promotion.
Intricate:
having many different parts and small details that all work together.
Examples:
intricate details, intricate lacework. The politician managed to deal with that intricate issue.
Elaborate:
containing a lot of carefully prepared and organized or many complicated and detailed parts.
Examples:
an elaborate hat, elaborate Ponzi scheme. He proposed an elaborate program of public works.
Complexity:
the state or quality of being complicated or intricate and difficult to understand.
Examples:
cognitive complexity, complexity theory. The project's complexity made it difficult for the team to complete it on time.
Ubiquitous:
being or existing everywhere at once.
Examples:
ubiquitous computing, ubiquitous across ecosystems. Sugar is ubiquitous in food.
Operate:
to work in a particular way, to supervise something.
Examples:
operate 24 hours a day. Manually operate a machine. This machine is too difficult to operate for me.
Topic:
a subject that is being discussed or written about.
Examples:
a serious topic. The topic of the book. The topic of the discussion was the current state of the economy.
Obesity:
the condition of being significantly overweight, typically defined as having a body mass index, BMI, of 30 or greater.
Examples:
obesity-related diseases. Suffer from obesity. The prevalence of obesity has increased significantly in recent years.
Trend:
a general direction in which something is changing or developing.
Examples:
an international trend. The trend away from television. The oil price continued their downward trend.
Epidemic:
the widespread outbreak of a particular disease in a large number of people at the same time.
Examples:
a worldwide epidemic. Health epidemic. The disease is now reaching epidemic proportions in our country.
Collaborate:
to work with someone else to produce or achieve something.
Examples:
collaborate with the police. Collaborate on a press release. She agreed to collaborate with him in creating new artwork.
Fowl:
birds that are kept for their meat or eggs, particularly domesticated birds, including chickens, ducks, and turkeys.
Examples:
chicken fowl. Fowl farm. We had roasted fowl for dinner, and it was delicious.
Discuss:
to talk about or examine in detail, through conversation or debate, to exchange ideas, opinions, or information on a particular topic.
Examples:
discuss options. Discuss solutions. We need to discuss the next steps for the project during our meeting tomorrow.
Slide:
to move or cause to move smoothly along a surface without interruption.
Examples:
slide a card across the table. Slide a glance. If necessary, you can slide the front seats forward.
Initial:
of or happening at the beginning, noun, the first letter of a word, especially a person's name.
Examples:
initial velocity. An initial letter. They took the initial step toward reconciliation.
Dot:
a very small circular mark, especially one that is printed.
Examples:
connecting the dots. Dot blot method. The wallpaper had a pattern of pink dots on a white surface.
Proportion:
a part, share, or amount of something considered in comparative relation to a whole.
Examples:
direct proportion. A building of vast proportions. He is more concerned about the proportion of his body fat than usual because of an upcoming bodybuilding competition.
Addition:
the act or process of adding something to something else, the process of adding numbers.
Examples:
chemical addition. Addition of vectors. In addition, private corporations provide healthcare services.
Mass.
A large amount of a substance with no definite shape or form, a large number of people or things grouped or crowded together.
Examples:
A mass of molten rock. Critical mass. The mass of people who do not own property is politically impotent.
Index.
A list of items, such as names, subjects, or keywords, that is arranged in a particular order and is usually found at the end of a book or document. A number or symbol that indicates the value or level of something, such as a stock index or a temperature index.
Examples:
A full text index. Health index. The stock market index measures the performance of a group of stocks.
Clinical.
Of or relating to the examination and treatment of patients rather than theoretical or laboratory studies.
Examples:
Clinical surgery. Participate in clinical trials. She received special clinical training at the hospital.
Obese.
Excessively overweight, particularly to the point of being a serious health risk, having a body mass index, BMI, of 30 or more.
Examples:
Obese individuals. Obese children. The doctor warned him that his obese condition put him at risk for numerous health problems.
Cluster.
A group of similar things or people close together, often forming a distinct mass or unit.
Examples:
Live in a cluster. A cluster of stars. A cluster of grapes hung from the vine.
Visual.
Relating to seeing or sight.
Examples:
Visual navigation. Field of visual arts. The building makes a remarkable visual impact.
Obvious.
Easy to see, discover, or understand.
Examples:
Obvious reasons. His conclusion was obvious. There are obvious differences between the two wine-producing regions.
Quest.
A long or challenging search for something.
Examples:
The quest for truth. On a quest for happiness. That adventurer traveled in quest of buried treasure.
Immediately.
Now or without delay.
Examples:
Immediately recall a product. Write him an answer immediately. A suspension order from the court is effective immediately.
Mathematics.
The science dealing with the logic of quantities, shapes, spaces, and arrangement.
Examples:
A good grounding in mathematics. Mathematics competition. He has a flair for mathematics.
Probabilistic.
Characterized by the influence of chance or probability, involving the use of statistical models or methods to estimate likelihoods or risks.
Examples:
Probabilistic model. Probabilistic approach. In a probabilistic system, the outcome is uncertain and can vary based on chance.
Degree.
A unit of measurement for angles, temperature, or level of proficiency or achievement, a rank or level of academic or professional attainment.
Examples:
Bachelor's degree. Degree centigrade. She received her degree in psychology from the university.
Separate.
To force, take, or pull apart, mark as different.
Examples:
Separate video into chapter. Separate cream from milk. We need to separate the aspect of his personality from the part of his competence when making an investment decision.
Purple.
Of a color intermediate between red and blue.
Examples:
Deep purple. Purple sweet potatoes. The plant has a stunning purple blossom.
Probable.
Likely to happen or likely to be true.
Examples:
Probable outcome. Probable cause of a fire. It seems probable that he has forgotten our scheduled meeting.
Possibility.
A chance that something may happen or be true.
Examples:
Possibility for growth. Possibility of a major earthquake. The possibility of getting the disease will drastically increase.
Induct.
To formally admit someone to a job or position of authority. To officially introduce someone to an organization or group, or beliefs or ideas.
Examples:
Induct them into military service. Induct a clergy person to a benefice. We were inducted into the Honor Society.
Homophily.
The tendency of individuals to associate or bond with others who are similar to them in terms of traits, characteristics, interests, social status, or other factors.
Examples:
Homophily bias. Religious homophily. Organizations should know the potential for homophily in hiring and team-building processes.
Flock.
A gathering of sheep, goats, or birds.
Examples:
Flock of sheep. Flock of spectator. When a flock of birds flies in, the hunt begins.
Confound.
To confuse or perplex, to mix up or throw into disorder, to prove to be false or illogical.
Examples:
Confound right and wrong. Confound the problem. The unexpected events confounded the scientists who had to rethink their hypothesis.
Preferential.
Showing or giving preference or priority to a particular thing or person, giving special treatment or privilege to someone or something.
Examples:
preferential seating, preferential pricing. The preferential treatment given to certain employees led to resentment from others in the company.
Exposure.
The state of being in a particular situation or place where there is no protection from or guarantee to something harmful, the disclosure of something secret.
Examples:
a southern exposure, the exposure of a fraud. The long exposure to the air tarnished the antique tableware.
Studied.
Deliberately considered or scrutinized, carefully thought out or planned.
Examples:
studied analysis, well-studied decision. His speech was carefully crafted and delivered with studied confidence.
Mechanism.
A part of a machine, or a set of parts that performs a task, a natural or established process that occurs during a specific situation or reaction.
Examples:
the mechanism for DNA replication, defense mechanism. He discovered unique mechanisms for photochemical reactions.
Adopt.
To choose to follow something, to legally take a child from another family and care for them as if they were one's own.
Examples:
adopt a child, adopt a bill. The National Assembly has adopted the budget.
Combination.
A collection of things that have been combined, an assemblage of separate parts or qualities.
Examples:
Genic combinations, combination number. The combination to the safe was a secret.
Subtle.
Not readily apparent or visible.
Examples:
subtle changes, a subtle poison. The room was painted in a subtle pink hue.
Norm.
Something that is regarded as usual, typical, or standard.
Examples:
norm of action, cultural norm. The systems we have developed has accepted as industry norms.
Headline.
A heading at the top of a newspaper or magazine story or page.
Examples:
headline article, banner headline. The engagement of the two golf players became headline news.
Writ.
A written legal order or command.
Examples:
a writ of summons, issue a writ. He was served with a writ of eviction, giving him the notice to vacate the property.
Blame.
To think or say that someone or something did something wrong or is responsible for something bad.
Examples:
Blame circumstances for the failure. Blame the lack of knowledge. We blamed our impeded progress on lack of money.
Self-serving.
Concerned primarily with one's interests and needs rather than those of others, motivated by a desire for personal gain or advantage.
Examples:
Self-serving attitude. Self-serving bias. The politician's self-serving actions were met with criticism from the public.
Responsible.
Answerable or accountable for something within one's power, control, or management.
Examples:
Responsible action. Responsible for customer service. She's a responsible pet owner who ensures her dog gets enough exercise and a healthy diet.
Phenomenon.
Something that exists and can be perceptible, especially one that is not fully understood.
Examples:
Natural phenomenon. Historical phenomenon. A rainbow is a natural phenomenon.
Justify.
To provide a valid or reasonable explanation, reasoning, or evidence in support of a belief, action, or decision, to defend or vindicate something as right or valid.
Examples:
Justify my beliefs. Justify your decision. The lawyer tried to justify his client's actions by presenting evidence of their difficult upbringing.
Prejudice.
A thought or feeling that is unfair and makes no sense, mainly when it is formed without enough thought or knowledge.
Examples:
Deep-rooted prejudice. Color prejudice. This community is free of social prejudice.
Visualize.
To form a mental image or concept of something, to make something visible.
Examples:
Visualize data. Visualize flying through space. She tried to visualize the layout of the new house in her mind.
Complicated.
Involving a lot of different things or parts in a way that is difficult to understand or analyze.
Examples:
A complicated process. Become increasingly complicated. He did complicated pen and ink drawings in just a few days.
Structure.
The way of construction of something and the arrangement of its parts, or a complex thing constructed of many parts.
Examples:
The structure of a machine. Structure and function of the brain. The organizational structure of startups is often flat and straightforward.
Architecture.
The art and science of designing and constructing buildings.
Examples:
Architecture design. Classic architecture. The city is known for its impressive architecture and beautiful old buildings.
Centric.
Tending towards or focused on a particular center, point, or perspective, sometimes to the exclusion of others, emphasizing or prioritizing a specific thing or group. Noun, something that is at the center or core of a specific thing or system.
Examples:
technology-centric approach, employee-centric policies. The hotel's customer-centric approach always puts the needs and satisfaction of guests first.
Animation.
The technique of photographing successive drawings or positions of puppets or models to create an illusion of movement when the film is shown as a sequence. Enthusiasm and energy in the way you look or behave.
Examples:
animation studio, animation film. The animation of the characters in the movie was so realistic, and it was as if they were there.
Disappear.
To cease to exist or be visible.
Examples:
disappear without a trace. Disappear after a week. They watched the train disappear into the distance.
Divorce.
The legal dissolution of a marriage.
Examples:
divorce settlement. A consensual divorce. The couple decided to get a divorce after many years of marriage.
Consistency.
The quality of acting or being done in the same way over time, the quality of not containing any logical contradictions.
Examples:
lack consistency. Consistency of results. There's no consistency in his arguments.
Persist.
To continue to do and refuse to stop something despite difficulties or opposition, even if it appears unreasonable.
Examples:
persist over time. Persist in success. Consult your doctor if the symptoms persist.
Resilient.
Able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions.
Examples:
a hard and resilient steel. Resilient population. She is a resilient person and has always bounced back from setbacks.
Microscope.
An instrument used to see objects or substances that are too small to be seen with the naked eye.
Examples:
microscope slide. Electron microscope. I used an optical microscope to observe the small organisms in the water sample.
Analyze.
To think about in depth and evaluate to discover essential features or meaning.
Examples:
analyze a chemical compound. Analyze your real motives. The teacher attempted to analyze the root cause of our mistake.
Technique.
A particular way or art of doing something that needs skill.
Examples:
A technique in martial arts. The technique applied to construction. Jockey's superior technique brought him victory.
Explore.
To travel to or penetrate an area or a country to learn about it, to thoroughly examine a subject or a possibility to learn more about it.
Examples.
Explore the world. Explore our options. The management must explore strategies to increase office security.
Altruism.
The belief or practice of disinterested and selfless concern for the well-being of others, unselfish devotion to the welfare of others, often expressed as acts of kindness or charity.
Examples.
Acts of altruism. Altruism in society. His act of volunteering at the homeless shelter was a clear example of practical altruism.
Eventually.
Finally, particularly after a long time or a lot of struggle, complications, and so on.
Examples.
Eventually become obsolete. Eventually succeed. The corporation eventually dominated the entire tobacco business.
Emotion.
A strong feeling such as love, anger, etc., deriving from one's situation, mood, or relationships with others.
Examples.
Control my emotion. Afraid to show emotion. Some emotions are common across cultures and backgrounds.
Advantage.
A condition or circumstance that puts one in a favorable or superior position, a beneficial feature or asset that someone or something has.
Examples.
Score an advantage. Take advantage of his weak points. One of the main advantages of the new product is its increased efficiency.
Emotional.
Relating to people's feelings.
Examples.
Emotional health. Emotional distress. Human emotional responses vary widely depending on the society to which they belong.
Contagion.
The spread of a disease or harmful influence from one person or thing to another.
Examples.
A contagion of fear. Contagion effect. The government has implemented measures to prevent the contagion of COVID-19, such as social distancing and mandatory mask wearing.
Population.
The total number of people in a country, region, or location.
Examples.
Population change. Labor population. In just 4 years, the population has doubled.
Function.
The purpose or use of an object, system, or process, a particular activity or operation that is designed to serve a specific purpose, a mathematical concept that describes a relationship between two sets of values, called the input and output sets. Verb, to operate or work in a specific way, or to perform a particular task or purpose.
Examples.
Function properly. Immune function. The brain is an incredibly complex organ that controls the body's function.
Primitive.
Of or relating to an early stage of society with no industry or technological development, simple, naive, or old-fashioned in style.
Examples.
Primitive society. Artifact of a primitive humankind. The industry in this country is still primitive.
Communicate.
To share or exchange information with others by speaking, writing, moving your body, or using other signals.
Examples.
Communicate his anxieties to the psychiatrist. Communicate well with my advisor. Dolphins use sound to communicate with each other.
Accustomed.
Familiar with, used to, in the habit of, having become habituated to something, often a behavior or situation.
Examples.
Accustomed routine. Accustomed to complaints. I am accustomed to waking up early for work.
Subway.
An underground railway system, typically in a city.
Examples.
Subway train. Rapid transit subway. He took the subway to work every day to avoid traffic congestion.
Instinctively.
As a matter of nature or intuition rather than thought or training.
Examples.
Instinctively grab the knife. Instinctively bad with children. Some researchers claim that even humans can instinctively sense earthquakes.
Instinctive.
Relating to or based on instinct, done without conscious thought, as if from an inner compulsion or natural tendency.
Examples.
Instinctive reaction. Instinctive behavior. It was instinctive for the mother to protect her child from harm.
Transmit.
To send or forward an electronic signal, to pass something from one person or thing to another.
Examples.
Transmit the disease. Transmit information. Parents often transmit their characteristics to their children.
Punctuate.
To insert punctuation marks, equals comma, period, colon, etc. in the text, to interrupt periodically.
Examples.
Punctuate a sentence. Punctuate his talk. Strikes had also punctuated the preceding weeks.
Expression.
The act of conveying thoughts, feelings, or ideas using words, facial expressions, body language, or art, a look or gesture that conveys a particular emotion or mood.
Examples.
Artistic expression. Expression of interest. His facial expression showed a mix of surprise and confusion.
Riot.
A violent disturbance of the peace by a crowd, characterized by destruction of property, looting, arson, and attacks on individuals.
Examples:
Riot police, riot control gas. The riots in the city have left many buildings damaged and several people injured.
Sustained.
Lasting for a long time or continuing for a long time without becoming weaker or less intense.
Examples:
Sustained economic growth, sustained release medication. The company experienced sustained growth over the past decade.
Involve.
To include or affect someone or something as a necessary part of something else.
Examples:
Involve a lot of paperwork. Involve a high degree of risk. The investigation involves several government agencies and is expected to take several months.
Numb.
Unable to feel physical sensation and movement, not showing human feeling or sensitivity.
Examples:
Numb with cold. A numb mind. My left arm became numb.
Animate.
To make something full of interest and energy.
Examples:
Animate the body. Animate his soul. The positive attitude of the supervisor animated the discussion.
Stampede.
A sudden, frenzied rush or surge of a group of people or animals in a particular direction, a mass panicking movement of a group of animals, especially cattle or a herd of other similar animals.
Examples:
Stampede scare. Crowd stampede. The sudden loud noise caused a stampede among the horses.
Ripple.
A small wave on the surface of a liquid, typically caused by an object falling into it or a slight wind.
Examples:
A ripple of laughter. Ripple in the water. Many businesses felt the ripple effect of the economy's decline.
Collective.
Done or shared by every member of a group of people.
Examples:
Right to collective bargaining. Collective ownership. Product development is a collective effort.
Existence.
The state or fact of someone or something existing.
Examples:
The biggest tree in existence. The struggle for existence. He was an atheist and therefore did not believe in the existence of heaven or hell.
Intuition.
The ability to understand or know something without reasoning or evidence. A feeling that guides a person to do or believe something without fully understanding why.
Examples:
Creative intuition. Intuition research. Some studies suggest that people's intuitions can be influenced by their experiences and biases.
Occupy.
To consume all of someone's space, attention, or time.
Examples:
Occupy his time. Occupy a position. The young prince will soon occupy the throne.
Structural.
Associated with the way on construction or organization of anything.
Examples:
Structural analyses. Structural reorganization. The earthquake resulted in significant structural destruction.
Locate.
To specify or determine the exact position of someone or something.
Examples:
Locate a missing pet. Locate a tumor. The robot can accurately locate construction material.
Invoke.
To call upon or request help or support, especially from a higher power. To mention or use something as a reason or justification for actions or decisions.
Examples:
Invoke memories. Invoke the right to remain silent. The politician invoked the name of the founding fathers in his speech.
Metaphor.
A figure of speech in which an expression is used to refer to something that it does not denote to suggest a similarity.
Examples:
Metaphor for death. Visual metaphor. She expressed her thought in an artful choice of metaphors.
Fabric.
Cloth or other material produced by weaving wool, cotton, silk, etc., used for making clothes, covering furniture, etc.
Examples:
A hand-loomed fabric. Fabric of creation. These synthetic fabrics are used in military vests because of their excellent abrasion resistance.
Humanity.
All people living on the earth, the quality or state of being human rather than an animal, a machine, etc.
Examples:
Humanity at large. Mass of humanity. They donated large sums of money for the development of humanity.
Endlessly.
In a way that continues for a long time or seems to have no end or limit.
Examples:
Repeat endlessly. Worry endlessly about our future. The procession of demonstrators was endlessly continuing.
Old-fashioned.
Of or relating to a time in the past, not modern.
Examples:
An old-fashioned person. Old-fashioned in appearance. My father is old-fashioned in his thinking.
Quilt.
A warm bed covering made of padding enclosed between layers of fabric and kept in place by lines of stitching, typically forming a decorative pattern.
Examples:
Quilt blanket. Handmade quilt. My grandmother made me a beautiful quilt as a gift for my wedding.
Patch.
A small piece of material or fabric used to repair or reinforce a tear, hole, or damaged area. A small plot of land used for cultivation or a specific purpose.
Examples:
Patch of grass. Software patch. I need to sew a patch onto my jeans that ripped.
Fundamental.
Forming an essential base or core from which everything else develops or is affected.
Examples:
Fundamental education. Fundamental rights. Human behavior has fundamental characteristics.
Encode.
To convert information into a code or format suitable for storage or transmission.
Examples:
Encode data. Encode information. The software can encode and decode encrypted messages.
Gene.
The fundamental unit of heredity and the sequence of nucleotides in DNA that codes for the creation of RNA or protein.
Examples:
Gene expression. Gene cloning. A defective gene is responsible for the disease.
Lattice.
An arrangement of points or particles in a regular, repeating pattern in 2 or 3 dimensions, a structure consisting of an ornamental design made of strips of wood or metal.
Examples:
Lattice ornament. A door with a lattice frame. The lattice pattern on the fence allowed the vines to climb up and create a natural privacy screen.
Striking.
Interesting and distinctive enough to draw notice, exceedingly appealing, frequently in an odd manner.
Examples:
Striking innovation. Striking evidence. The 2 plays have a number of striking parallels.
Apparent.
Able to see or understand easily or clearly.
Examples:
Heir apparent. Apparent contradiction. This star is apparent to the naked eye.
Beg.
To ask for something urgently or earnestly, to appeal to someone to do something.
Examples:
Beg the question. Beg for help. She begged her parents to let her go to the concert.
Evolve.
To develop gradually, or to cause the development of something or someone gradually.
Examples:
Evolve. Evolve over the past decade. Eyeless fish evolved in dark caves.
Dissect.
To cut into pieces, to study the structure of something in detail.
Examples:
Dissect the data. Dissect a personality. The scientist dissected the frog to study its internal organs.
Stud.
A small object with a head on one end and a sharp point on the other, used for fastening clothing, leather, or other materials, an animal used for breeding, typically a male horse or bull that is of superior breeding stock. Verb, to decorate or adorn with studs, to provide with studs for support.
Examples:
Horse stud, wall stud. He bought a new stud to attach the strap to his watch.
Elite.
Belonging to the wealthiest, most potent, best educated, or best trained group in a society.
Examples:
Earn elite status. Elite athlete. Very few educational elites go to Oxford or Cambridge.
Highlight.
To make something prominent, mainly so that people give it more attention.
Examples:
Highlight a string in red. Highlight an important difference. The introduction highlighted the speaker's distinguished career as a consultant.
Nod.
To lower and raise one's head, sometimes several times, as to show approval, agreement, greeting, or confirmation.
Examples:
Nod at each other. Nod courteously. She nodded quietly in response to the question.
Aspect.
One part or feature of a situation, problem, subject, etc.
Examples:
Non-technical aspects of the job. Aspects of social, political, and economic life. His professional experience includes all aspects of media production.
Transitive.
Describes a verb that requires an object to complete its meaning, which transfers its action to a receiver or object.
Examples:
Transitive construction. Transitive action. To master a language, we must understand the transitive pattern of verb conjugation.
Cultivate.
To prepare and foster land for growing crops or plants.
Examples:
Cultivate a field. Cultivate relationships. University is a great place to cultivate our minds and expertise.
Deadly.
Likely to cause or capable of causing death.
Examples:
Fight against the deadly disease. A deadly weapon. The members of religious organizations released deadly poisonous gas on a subway train.
Germ.
A very tiny living that causes the disease, a piece of something such as an organism, concept, etc., capable of growing into a new one or part of one.
Examples:
Antibiotic-resistant germ. A germ-free environment. The germ of his idea came from watching birds flying in flocks.
Juicy.
Containing much liquid, often used to describe fresh fruit or meat, interesting or exciting, often because it is scandalous or revealing.
Examples:
Juicy gossip. Juicy fruit. The burger was so juicy that it dripped down my hand as I ate it.
Gossip.
Conversation or discussion about other people's personal affairs, often of a trivial or idle nature involving sharing rumors, hearsay, or speculation about the lives of others.
Examples:
Gossip magazine. Celebrity gossip. I heard some juicy gossip about our coworker at the water cooler.
Implication.
Something that is inferred or indirectly stated, the act or fact of being involved in something.
Examples:
The implication in a crime. The implication of a word. His poem has a very significant implication.
Experiment.
The scientific test conducted to observe what happens and gain new knowledge.
Examples:
Experiment design. Series of experiments. His experiments showed highly positive results.
Variation.
The act or state of changing, a difference or change in the way something is done, made, or said.
Examples:
Variation of temperature. Gene variation. There is a lot of variation in the colors of flowers in the garden.
Shyness.
The quality or state of being worried or embarrassed about meeting and speaking to other people.
Examples:
Lose some of my shyness. Shyness barrier. He finally overcame his shyness.
Gregarious.
Fond of company, sociable, living in groups or communities.
Examples:
Gregarious animals. Gregarious nature. She was a gregarious person, always making friends with everyone she met.
Attribute.
To say or regard that something is the result of a particular thing, noun, a quality or feature that someone or something possesses.
Examples:
Attribute the change to their marriage. Attribute directly to sales. He attributes the disappointing results to the economic downturn.
Introduction.
A preliminary explanation or remarks given before the start of a text, performance, or event, the act of bringing something new into existence or introducing something to a wider audience or new market.
Examples:
Introduction education. Self-introduction. The introduction to the new class was informative and engaging.
Knit.
To make a garment or fabric by interlocking loops of yarn with needles or a machine.
Examples:
Knit my eyebrows. Knit a pair of socks. The grandmother knit a warm sweater for her grandchild.
Dense.
Containing a large number of people or something with little space between them.
Examples:
Nutrient-dense foods. Dense forests. The entire mountain is covered in dense rainforest.
Comfort.
A state of physical ease and freedom from pain or constraint.
Examples:
Words of comfort. Comfort level. He found comfort in the warm embrace of his loved ones.
Partial.
Not complete, fragmentary, favoring somebody or something very much.
Examples:
Partial withdrawal. Partial knowledge. Although some progress had been made, the study's findings were partial.
Heritable.
Able to be passed down or transmitted from one generation to the next.
Examples:
Non-heritable variation. Heritable disease. The heritable trait was passed down through the generations.
Argument.
A set of statements or reasons used to support or refute a proposition or theory, a verbal or physical fight or dispute.
Examples:
A blazing argument. The argument against capital punishment. The argument between the two sides over the proposed policy was heated.
Emerge.
To move out of or away from something and become visible.
Examples:
Emerge as a butterfly. Emerge from poverty. During colonial eras, new migratory patterns emerged.
Inherence.
The state or quality of being inherent or permanently fixed in something, particularly in a characteristic, attribute, or quality.
Examples:
Inherence in property rights. Inherence of good and evil. The inherence of tradition in the local culture makes it resistant to change.
Carbon.
A chemical element that can be found in pure form as diamond or graphite, and it is also an essential part of coal and oil and is found in all plants and animals.
Examples:
Carbon dioxide. Carbon emission. Trees absorb carbon dioxide and give off oxygen.
Atom.
The smallest unit of ordinary matter that forms a chemical element, composed of a nucleus and one or more electrons bound to the nucleus.
Examples:
Oxygen atom. Neutral hydrogen atoms. The outermost electron shell of an atom determines its chemical characteristics.
Arrange.
To plan, prepare for, and carry out something.
Examples:
Arrange the meeting. The list was arranged alphabetically. I need to arrange plans with him for the celebration.
Graphite.
A soft, black, lustrous form of carbon that is conductive and used as a lubricant and in pencils and electrodes in electrical devices.
Examples:
Graphite pencil. Graphite mine. The graphite in the brake pads helps to reduce friction during braking.
Interconnect.
To connect similar things.
Examples:
Directly interconnect with those systems. Human activities interconnect with the environment. Our system can now interconnect with other databases.
Diamond.
A precious stone made from pure carbon, typically transparent and colorless, but possibly tinted in various colors, a shape or arrangement resembling the geometric form of a diamond.
Examples:
Diamond ring. Diamond necklace. The engagement ring was adorned with a large, sparkling diamond.
Reside.
To live in a particular place, typically for a prolonged period of time.
Examples:
Reside on the skin. Reside permanently. They reside in a beautiful old house in the countryside.
Similarly.
In almost the same way.
Examples:
Similarly situated. Have similarly great abilities. We argue that wages for temporary workers should similarly rise.
Confer.
To have a meeting or discussion, to come to a decision or agreement or exchange ideas, to bestow something.
Examples:
Confer degree. Confer honor. The leaders of the two countries met to confer on the issue.
Assemble.
To collect in one place as a single group.
Examples:
Assemble your colleagues. Assemble a jigsaw puzzle. The president began to assemble an army.
Organism.
A tiny living thing.
Examples:
Aerobic organism. Group of organisms. A diversified plant species generally enhances beneficial organism populations.
Evince.
To demonstrate or show clearly, to make evident or manifest, to display or exhibit a quality, feeling, or characteristic.
Examples:
Evince clear reasoning. Evince strong emotions. The company's financial statements evinced a decline in profits.
Reducible.
Capable of being reduced, simplified, or made smaller, able to be broken down or diminished.
Examples:
Reducible complexity. Reducible polynomials. The reducible problem could be easily solved with the right approach.
Refer.
To direct someone's attention, thoughts, or questions to another source or person, to mention, cite, or allude to something as evidence or support.
Examples:
Refer to a book. Refer to a map. Please refer to the instruction manual for further assistance.
Hive.
A structure for the reception and habitation of bees, either built by people or made by the bees themselves, a place swarming people.
Examples:
Honeybees in hives. A hive of activity. Bees were buzzing around the hive.
Nest.
A structure in which animals lay their eggs or give birth to their young.
Examples:
Bird's nest. A nest of thieves. The female birds build a nest and lay their eggs in May.
Evade.
To escape from or avoid meeting someone or something.
Examples:
Evade capture. Evade an issue. The jailbroken criminal is continuously attempting to evade the cops.
Predator.
An animal whose natural behavior is to prey on others.
Examples:
Apex predator. Sexual predators. The native South American animals were in danger because of the predator's arrival.
Wisdom.
The quality of being wise, or the ability to use your knowledge and experience to make sensible decisions.
Examples:
A fountain of wisdom. Wisdom literature. The community greatly respected and sought after the older adult's wisdom.
Navigate.
To plan and direct the way that a ship, plane, etc. will travel, often by using a map.
Examples:
Navigate the Pacific. Navigate through a document. Our knowledge helps navigate our clients successfully.
Speck.
A very small spot, piece, or amount.
Examples:
A speck of dust. Speck of suspicion. The plane was just a speck in the sky.
Pacific.
Peaceful in character or intent, tending to lessen or avoid conflict. Calm or soothing in manner or tone. Noun, as Pacific, the largest and deepest of Earth's oceanic divisions.
Examples:
Pacific nature disposition. The Pacific Ocean. They adopted a pacific approach to resolving their differences, emphasizing dialogue and understanding.
Prey.
The object of a hunt, an animal hunted or trapped for eating.
Examples:
Prey of beast. Become prey to terrorists. The majority of snakes swallow their prey whole.
Warfare.
The use of military force to achieve political, economic, or social objectives.
Examples:
Warfare aircraft. Spiritual warfare. The country has been engaged in a prolonged conflict, with both sides using modern warfare tactics.
Economy.
The system by which a country or region produces, manages, and distributes goods and services, including the money and finances involved in these activities, of an airline, the lowest priced, most basic option for seating in commercial travel.
Examples:
Economy of scale, economy class. The economy of the country is struggling due to the recent political instability.
Adoption.
The action or fact of legally taking another's child as one's own, the act of accepting with approval.
Examples:
Adoption assistance, the adoption of a plan. The adoption process can be long and difficult, but it is worth it for the love of a child.
Innovation.
The creation of a new device or process resulting from study and experimentation.
Examples:
Innovation leader, cutting-edge innovation. The vegetarian burger was an innovation that quickly spread to the United Kingdom.
Outweigh.
To be heavier, more significant, or more critical than something.
Examples:
Outweigh the benefit, outweigh our wishes. The advantages would undoubtedly outweigh the disadvantages.
Violent.
Involving or caused by physical force or aggression against someone or something.
Examples:
Victim of a violent crime, violent incident. The protesters became violent when the police tried to disperse them.
Misinformation.
Information that is false or inaccurate, or the act of giving wrong information, especially deliberately.
Examples:
Misinformation about a vaccine. Combat misinformation on social media. The government called for caution against pseudoscientific misinformation about vaccines.
Infect.
To affect a person, an animal, or a plant with a disease-causing organism.
Examples:
Infect other animal species. Infect a computer with a virus. Children often infect parents with this head cold.
Disintegrate.
Break or cause to break into small fragments.
Examples:
Disintegrate in an explosion. Disintegrate over time. The vase disintegrated into pieces when it fell to the ground.
Sustain.
To supply enough of what somebody or something needs in order to survive or exist, to accept as valid.
Examples:
Sustain a good relationship with him. Sustain a wellness lifestyle. She struggled to sustain the children's reading habits.
Nourish.
To provide a person, an animal, or plant with food to make them grow and stay healthy.
Examples:
Nourish damaged skin. Nourish hope. The mother used her breast milk to nourish the baby.
Nourishing.
Providing the necessary nutrients or sustenance to support health and growth.
Examples:
Nourishing broth. Nourishing ingredients. My mother always made sure she had a nourishing breakfast before school.
Relate.
To establish a connection or association between two or more things. To narrate or tell about an event, experience, or relationship. To empathize or feel sympathy with someone or something.
Examples:
Relate a story. Relate a message. He tried to relate his experience to the group, but they couldn't understand.